twitch of the death.
Honk!
Hey guys, you know what time it is?
It's hammer time!
That's right, everyone. We're going to talk about a hammer horror movie. But I could talk about some of the Draculas or the Frankensteins and the mummies. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to literally talk about a hammer horror movie that I loved so much. And that, of course, it is the 1958 film, The Hound of the Baskervilles. The Hound of the Baskervilles was based on a book from Arthur Conan Doyle, and it was part of the Sherlock Holmes series. We all know what Sherlock Holmes is, a very famous detective, you know, like one of the most iconic detectives of our times. And yeah, like, come on, like, who does not know, who does not, you know, like Sherlock Holmes? I mean, come on, Sherlock Holmes is awesome. But I think out of all basically the stories, The Hound of the Baskervilles is at least one of its most popular stories. There are many adaptations of the story. The most famous one is the 1930s version with Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes.
My name must be Watson. Holmes! How are you, my dear fellow? A fine detective you are, calling yourself Sherlock Holmes.
But there has been a lot of other ones, actually. A lot of other adaptations. Even there's one in Russia.
Буквы CCH наводят на мысль, что это был Чаринг-Кросский госпиталь.
Вполне может быть, вполне может быть.
Пойдем дальше.
Now, of course, I actually do know of Sherlock Holmes, but I never read the books and everything. But I do know the character, mostly because from media, some references, including some homages like the Great Mouse Detective.
Only that the words are written with a broad, pointed quill pen, which is spattered twice. That the paper is of native Mongolian manufacture, no watermark, and has been gummed, if I'm not very much in error, by a bat.
If you actually ever heard of anything of this story, basically the basic story is that Sherlock Holmes has to investigate this place called Baskervilles because supposedly there's actually this curse going on that this hound is basically killing off basically many of the members of the Baskervilles. That is basically what the story actually is, and this movie actually is actually a really good adaptation. Our Sherlock Holmes in this movie is played by the legendary goat himself, Peter Cushing.
It's just it, Watson. Well done, my boy. But he wasn't tiptoeing. He was running. Running for his life. Running in panic until he burst his heart.
He actually really plays the character very well, actually. I mean, come on. I mean, look at this face right here. That is the face totally basically for Sherlock Holmes right there. I mean, if you look at this right here, yeah, that's definitely Sherlock Holmes. Gratefully, this is not his only basically Sherlock Holmes role, because he actually did play Sherlock Holmes in a BBC TV series based around Sherlock Holmes. Now, in the story, Sherlock Holmes has to protect basically the last member of the Baskerville family. And who in the world basically is playing this role?
Who's there?
Holmes, for heaven's sake, when did you get here? I am glad to see you again.
That is right, none other than Christopher freaking Lee. And he does a great job in this film. Like, man, like he freaking nails it. I really love this role.
He has told you of the legend of the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yes, but I don't attach any importance to that sort of old wives' tale.
A man after my own heart. You intend to go down to Devonshire and live at Baskerville Hall?
I've already come a very long way, Mr. Holmes, to do exactly that, and nothing is going to stop me. You can understand that, surely.
And here's the crazy part. Christopher Lee actually later got to play Sherlock Holmes in like this Sherlock Holmes like movie, I forgot what it was called, from the 1960s, and later actually played Sherlock Holmes again in the 90s miniseries. So, look at that. We actually got two stars here that basically plays Sherlock Holmes. Like one that's playing Sherlock Holmes and the other one later plays Sherlock Holmes. Now, I can kind of understand why this is what many people's, I could say, least favorite. I'm not saying like all, but some. Because, well, simply, if you definitely do know Hammer, then you know what they're known for. Horror.
Move your head. Carefully. I can't. You must.
Because that's basically what this actually is. It's basically a horror version of the tale itself. But I'm not gonna lie, I think that's actually a pretty unique idea, I'm not gonna lie. Apparently, supposedly, there was gonna be more, actually, Sherlock Holmes movies Hammer was gonna make, but I believe this movie failed, and, well, they never did another Sherlock Holmes tale ever again. Now, I will definitely say I do kind of want to spoil the ending, but I don't want to. Because, yesery, like, I definitely do know one thing about Sherlock Holmes, and that is the butler always does it. Every single story, the butler always does it. But here, this is a little different, so that's why I'm not going to spoil it, alright? So, I highly recommend you check out this movie. It's on Tubi, and it's also, I think, free on YouTube. Yeah, it's actually free with ads. And, yeah, so definitely check this one out.